Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. We have made it. We have officially made it. I know the clergy team and everyone here at Sinai Temple is feeling a little bit of a sense of relief upon completing the entire High Holy Day season and the Chagim that come afterwards. So, Shalom Uvracha. Hello, good morning, good blessings. Thank you for joining me today. And we're going to return to our daily, weekly study of Torah. And today is a unique moment in the year. As I said, we have finished our season of the holy days. Today is the day after Simchat Torah. And it's the first regular weekday after nearly 1 month of sacred time. We had 23 days of holiness from Rosh Hashanah, and then 10 days later we had Yom Kippur, and then Sukkot 5 days after that, 7 days of Sukkot, the 7th day being Hoshana Rabbah. Then the day after that, Shmini Atzeret, the 8th day of assembly, another Chag in our tradition. And then the day after that, which was yesterday and the night before, Simchat Torah. So today is the first taste of what our tradition calls Chol, which is ordinary time. The festivals have concluded. Our lulav and etrog have been set aside. Maybe you're making a jam out of your etrog. Our hakafot, our marching around the synagogue with our Torah, has ended as well. And we return to the Torah where at the very beginning. Bereshit bara Elohim. The first words of the Torah. In the beginning, God created. And there are no more profound words than these. They take us not only to the dawn of the world, but also to the essence of our very own existence. What does it mean to begin? What does it mean to create? What does it mean to live in a universe that is not random, but purposeful? As many commentators note, the Torah did not begin with the first mitzvah. It does not open, the Torah, which is the book of law, the Torah does not open with law. It opens with creation. It begins not with us, the Jewish people, but with Olam, the entire world. And Rashi famously asks why. Why does the Torah begin with creation instead of the first commandment? His answer from Midrash Tanchuma is that the opening of the Torah declares that the world belongs to God. Creation is the foundation of covenant. Before we speak about obligations, we must speak about belonging. Before we speak about mitzvot, we must speak about meaning. So today I want to explore 5 central themes of Parashat Bereshit, the first Parasha in our Torah, the first Parasha of the first book. Creation as the emergence of order from chaos, human dignity and responsibility, the meaning of Shabbat, moral choice in the Garden of Eden, and the crisis of violence in the story of Cain and Abel, of Cain and Abel. So, the Torah begins not with silence, but with chaos. In chapter 1, the second verse, it says, V'ha'aretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom. The earth was unformed and void, and choshech, darkness, was all over the face of the deep. Tohu vavohu, chaos, formlessness, a universe without shape or direction. Ramban Nachmanides notes that this is the very first substance created by God. Matter itself. Creation is not magic. It's not the product of mythic violence. It's disciplined work. God brings light, form, separation, boundaries, and purpose. Creation is the triumph of structure. Light and darkness, or vachoshech. Heaven and earth, land and sea, even time itself is structured. We learn at the very end of each day, Vayehi Erev, Vayehi Voker. There was evening and there was morning. This, by the way, is why our days start in the evening with sunset. For example, Shabbat begins on Friday night and not Saturday morning. Vayehi Erev Vayihi Voker. There was evening and there was morning. Seforno explains that the divine statement Yehi Or, let there be light, is not simply physical illumination. It's the revelation of purpose. God imposes meaning on what was formless. And this is the beginning of everything. This is the first great lesson of the Torah. Holiness does not emerge by accident. It emerges through separation, through distinction, through structure. And that's the essence of the word kadosh, holiness, to be distinct. The first creative act of God is not one of destruction, but of organization. Creation is not only about existence, it's about order. Rav Soloveitchik writes in The Lonely Man of Faith that the human being is asked to imitate this divine model. We bring order to the world. We create, we name, we shape. We are called to turn chaos into meaning. On the sixth day, the Torah introduces the most mysterious dimension of creation, us, the human being. Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam betsalmo, betselem Elohim bara oto. God created the first human, the human in his image. In the image of God, he created them. That's chapter 1, verse 27. So what does it mean to be created betselem Elohim, in the image of God? It cannot be physical form. Rambam teaches that God has no body, nor any physical attributes. The image of God refers to human capacity for reason, moral choice, and creativity. It's the capacity to think, to choose, to create, to be responsible. The Mishnah in Sanhedrin, chapter 4, verse 5, famously declares, Kol mekayem nefesh achat miYisrael, me'aleh alav hakatuv ke'elu kayem olam maleh. Whoever saves a single life is as though he has saved an entire world. Because humanity begins with one person. The life of one person is infinite in value. Being created in the image of God is the foundation of human dignity. Every moral system in Judaism rests on this truth. That's why cruelty is forbidden. That's why terror is evil. And this is why indifference to suffering is unacceptable. Every human being reflects something divine. Yet it also comes with responsibility. The next verse in verse 28 of chapter 1 declares, Pru uravu, umal'u et ha'aretz, vechiv shuha. Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and conquer it, master it. The early commentators struggle with that word, vechiv shuha, often translated as to conquer it. Does this grant humanity license to exploit creation? Seforno argues no. Humanity is charged with developing the world ethically. We are not conquerors. We are guardians. And then we're introduced to one of the most beautiful aspects of our tradition, Shabbat, holiness in time. Creation culminates not with humanity on the sixth day, but with time. Shabbat is the climax of creation. Vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto. The famous words from chapter 2, verse 2, God completed on the seventh day his work. Creation ends in rest. But rest in Torah does not mean collapse. It means fullness, completion, sanctification. The Torah says, Vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, vayekadesh oto. God blessed the seventh day and made it kodesh, made it holy. This is the first time the word kadosh appears in the Torah. And what is holy in this first instance? Not a holy object, not a holy place, but holy time. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel famously calls Shabbat a cathedral in time. Before Amos, before the temple, before covenant at Sinai, Shabbat exists. It's universal. It teaches that time itself is sacred and that human life must include rhythm, work and rest, creation and reflection. After this cosmic creation of chapter 1, the Torah narrows its lens in chapter 2. We move from the universal to the personal. The story of Gan Eden. It's not a myth, the Garden of Eden. It's a psychological portrait of the human being. God places Adam and Eve, Adam and Chava, in the garden and commands them famously, Mikol eitz hagan ochel achol tochel, ume'etz dat tov v'ra lo tochel mimenu. You may eat freely of every tree in the garden, but the tree of knowledge and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you must not eat. The story of the garden confronts us with two truths. First, freedom is essential to humanity. Without choice, there is no morality. Second, knowledge carries consequence. Once human beings become aware of good and evil, innocence is lost. The expulsion is tragic, but it's not punishment alone. It's growth. Humanity cannot remain in the garden. We must enter history. Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch argues that eating from the tree transformed human awareness. Before the sin, humanity knew good. Afterward, humanity experienced moral conflict, the Yetzer Hara, the inclination towards selfishness, awakened. Life now requires discipline. It requires struggle. It requires moral striving. And this is the story of the human condition. And then in the story of Cain and evil, we experience the birth of violence. The first sin was disobedience, and the second is violence. Cain and Abel each bring their offerings. Famously, Abel brings the best of his flock, the sheep, right? And Cain brings something less. Okay, it was the best of his ability, but in our tradition, it was seen as less because God favors Abel and Cain becomes enraged. Vayomer Cain el Hevel Achiv, Vayakum Cain el Hevel Achiv, Vayeheragehu. Cain said to his brother Abel, ... and Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. God's question to Cain is the question of all time. E Hevel Achicha. Where is your brother Hevel? Cain responds, Lo yadati, hashomer achi anochi. I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the answer is the entire Torah. It's an answer to that question. And it's yes, you are your brother's keeper. Our tradition rejects the ideology of isolation. We are responsible for one another. Kol Yisrael Aravim ze lazeh. We are each responsible for one another. We are commanded to care, to intervene, to pursue justice. Cain pretends that he doesn't know where his brother is. The Torah demands that we know. Midrash Breshit Rabbah says that Cain did not deny the murder. He denied responsibility. That's the deeper sin. Violence begins where moral responsibility ends. A little further in Bereshit, we make it to chapter 5, and this is a genealogy. It lists the generations from Adam all the way to Noah. Many will skip this chapter, reading it quickly and past all the names, but it reveals the nature of human morality. Each generation is born, lives, and dies. Yet each leaves a trace, a legacy. Humanity advances slowly, imperfectly, over time. The Torah is telling us a difficult truth. We do not complete history. We participate in it. We receive a world unfinished. We add our part, and then we return to the earth and pass this task on to the next generation. Before concluding, I want to place our learning in context. We don't study Torah in an abstract universe. We study Torah as part of Am Yisrael, the people of Israel, bound to history. A few days ago, we witnessed something miraculous, something extraordinary. The return of the last 20 remaining living hostages from Gaza. After over 700 days, 2 brutal years. Their release was a miracle. For each of these days, we've been stuck in October 7th. We've been praying for them. We marched for them. We wrote their names, and we hung their faces in our sanctuary. And 2 nights ago, on Erev Simchat Torah, this week, we took down the banner. And we danced with our Torahs in the streets. Our entire community, the entire Jewish community, felt the shock of joy that comes when prayer meets reality. And yet our joy is not complete. Still, more than 20 bodies of hostages still remain in Gaza. Jewish tradition teaches that kavod hamet, the dignity of the dead, is a sacred obligation. We will not rest until every soul is returned. We are allowed to feel joy and pain at once. It's part of being Jewish. We carry memory, we carry hope, and we carry responsibility. When we read the words of the Torah, especially the question asked of Cain, hevel achicha, where is your brother? I believe we hear it in a new way this year. The answer is that our brothers and sisters are in Israel. Some are home, some are still missing, some are no longer here but must be brought to burial. Our Parasha, Bereshit, reminds us of a core truth. Creation begins again every year, but it's always fragile. Hope is fragile. Life is fragile. Community is fragile. We hold each other close because we must. So what do we do with Parashat Bereshit this year, at this moment? First, we accept that the Torah begins again. Not because the story changed, but because we have changed. We are not the same people we were 1 year ago, especially 2 years ago. History has changed us. Loss has changed us. Resilience has changed us. We carry a heavier story now, but also a deeper one. Second, we notice that Bereshit moves quickly from creation to conflict. The Torah is honest. Life is not the Garden of Eden. Humanity fails early, and it fails often. Yet the Torah does not give up on us. God does not end the story. God continues to call human beings. Ayeka, where are you? That question echoes throughout history. It echoes for us now. Where are you? Where is your voice? Where is your responsibility? Where is your faith? And third, we remember that every beginning starts with action. Bereshit is not theory. It is a call to build. Bereshit bara. In the beginning, God created. Create order, protect dignity. Keep Shabbat, choose life, resist violence. Carry responsibility for your brother and sister. These are not abstract teachings. They are daily work. In the Zohar, there is a teaching that the word Bereshit can be read as 2 words. Bara, shit. God created 6. Meaning the 6 days of creation. But the hidden 7th day, Shabbat, sustains the world. Without holiness and time, the world collapses. We are now back in time. Back in the week. Back in ordinary life. But there's no such thing as an ordinary life for a Jew. God calls creation good each day. Good is not mystical. It's practical. It is daily. It's what we choose to build with the time that we are given. The first word of the Torah is Bereshit. And the last word of the Torah is Yisrael. The message is simple. Creation begins with God, and it ends with us. The story is handed over. What we do with it is our sacred task. May this year be one of beginnings. Not naive beginnings, honest beginnings, courageous beginnings. May we bring order where there is chaos. May we bring light where there is darkness. May we never stop asking where our brothers and sisters are, and may we walk together in the path of our sacred tradition, step by step, one beginning at a time.